Hey, as you probably know, I turn books and ideas and halfway built courses into ready to sell online courses for coaches and authors. So, one of the cool things that I get to run into a lot is new software that I haven't heard of before. So, I met with a coach, an author, who is a survivorship coach, and he asked me, how would I compare Skool with Coach Accountable? So I did a little digging, a little signing up, a little practicing, and here's the breakdown for all of you. Okay, so Skool versus Coach Accountable. We are going to start with the pricing. So for Coach Accountable, all of the features are included and the pricing is based on number of active clients. So you can usually budget around $7 per client per month is the guideline that I suggest. You can see that as you get towards the top of each of these pricing levels, your cost per client decreases. Skool is similar in that it's a flat fee and that all features are included. And it says one group is included. I was not sure how to get more than one group, even when I was inside the app, and I couldn't really find an answer on that. But as always, the pricing doesn't matter if the software doesn't do what you want. So a little bit about the basics of these two. This comparison really isn't apples to apples. Here's why. Coach Accountable is primarily a coaching software that happens to have groups and courses as part of what it includes for your coaching clients. And that's part of your whole business funnel of coaching. We'll talk more about that in a bit. Skool, on the other hand, is primarily a community software. That's what it started for, and it happens to have courses. So what do they do in a little bit more detail? So they both obviously have the groups and community. They both do have action assignments that the clients can complete. In Skool, they just kind of mark it done. And in Coach Accountable, they can do more detailed work. Habit tracking, Coach Accountable has and Skool doesn't. Both have teams and admins. Coach Accountable does not have a chat, while Skool does. You can chat with your members. Coach Accountable does have appointment booking and Skool does not. In Skool, you can create some events for your groups, but that's not the same thing as allowing them to schedule with you. And so that means discovery calls and stuff also can't be scheduled via Skool. They both have payments and billing, and Skool actually does the payment processing itself, whereas Coach Accountable links up with Stripe and Square. So if you have different places you do business, you can use that in, Stripe or Square in more than one spot. And then marketing and SEO. Coach Accountable kind of links in with your marketing, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. And Skool actually does some of that for you, and we'll talk about that too. And then obviously Coach Accountable is meant for that, and Skool does not have that. So some interesting differences in the features. So let's dig a little bit deeper. I'm going to start with the cons of Skool. Even the first time you sign up, including yourself and your customers, it requires a profile picture and a bio. So I can see the potential for new customers to immediately quit the onboarding there because it feels a little invasive to me. It links with Facebook, and I consider that a con because, as we know, Facebook is having a lot of privacy stuff going on, a lot of data mining, and also when we're trying to make a difference in the world, we're not trying to have people off on Facebook, consuming clickbait and crazy news and things like that. So I consider linking with Facebook to be a con. We don't want them to be distracted from the good stuff we're doing as well. And their trial is only 2 weeks, and it requires a credit card to even set up for the trial. Pros, it has a discovery section, and I thought that was kind of interesting because it allows people who don't know you, other users who are there for something else, to discover you if you meet certain thresholds. So that's kind of a cool marketing add-on. I'm not sure what the conversion rate is for that. They don't really talk about that, but it's still neat that more eyes might see you. It also has this gamification thing where they can unlock certain courses when members reach a higher level. Coach Accountable can do something similar, but I like the way Skool describes it and that they give levels so you can see what level your participants are at a very quick eyeball. Automatic cancellation for members. Basically, when your members cancel a membership, the system automatically, takes their access off at the end of their subscription period. Coach Accountable, you have to manually do that, which is kind of a blessing and a curse, but I know a lot of people would prefer to see some options for members to be able to automatically deactivate themselves. it does have a way better referral program. It's 40% of the referred person for life, for the life of their account. Coach Accountable gives 50% of that person's first month and then 5% for the lifetime. So typically their first month is one of their lowest months because they're still getting set up. They might not have that many customers in there yet. So way better referral program for Skool. And they also have a leaderboard. That's something that people requested sometimes from Coach Accountable, and you can kind of build something like that, but Skool has that already built in, and it's a nice interface. It looks good. And there is no in-app video hosting, and I consider this a pro, and here's why. There have been so many times when I'm building someone's course and they have the first version of the course in, let's say, Teachable or Kajabi, and those videos only live in Teachable or Kajabi. They don't live on YouTube or Vimeo or any of the big commonly used video places, and that's a huge pain. Then someone on their team has to take all those videos and upload them onto Vimeo or YouTube and make them unlisted and blah, blah, blah. And then I can put them in their new course, wherever that is. So I actually think it's nice that Skool and Coach Accountable actually both don't have in-app video hosting. You'll host it on a place where videos are meant to go, Vimeo, YouTube, that kind of thing. Now I have this neutral section. So Skool has the option to turn on blinking tabs or the header. So like when something new has happened, you can have something blinking. I consider this neutral because it can be a blessing or a curse, you know, with the way that our attention is so divided throughout the day and things like that. Blinking stuff, like, do we really need more of that in our lives? I don't know, but it is something people ask about sometimes. And it is discoverable by search engines. Now, again, that's neutral because, you know, maybe you have a course that's a little bit adjacent to what you teach in your normal day-to-day. And so if you have that stuff being crawled by search engines, you know, you might be starting to get associated with keywords that you don't actually want to be associated with. So that's kind of, it really is, it's neutral. So some people really want to be searched and some people really don't. So it's up to you whether that's a pro or a con for you. So let's dig a little deeper on Coach Accountable. In the cons section, the onboarding is definitely trickier. There's just so much more going on. It's a little bit less, like Skool's onboarding was very slick and very smooth. I knew exactly what I was doing. Coach Accountable, people get stuck on the onboarding sometimes because they don't really know where to start for their goals. Skool, since it does less, it's just clear what you need to do. As I mentioned before, you do have to manually deactivate your clients at this time. So, you know, since the pricing is based on number of active clients, that means you need to have a practice every month of deactivating the clients who aren't going to continue on and that kind of thing. The pros of Coach Accountable, it has way more features, as I've mentioned a couple of times now. Multiple types of homework. So you can have them fill out forms, you can have them track metrics, you can have them do action projects where you see how far along they are on their project. You can have text reminders, email reminders, and they can reply to those and mark stuff done. Skool just has the one thing. You just click that you did it. And so, you know, they're like the metrics tracking that I've talked about before with Coach Accountable. If you really want to give a variety of homework, you're going to want to use Coach Accountable. I mentioned better tracking. So that means tracking of what your customers are doing. Skool does give you the ability to see like how far along a client is in a course. Coach Accountable has like way more detailed tracking of what they've done, what they haven't done, what's been done late, what's been done on time, that kind of thing. Coach Accountable has a pretty robust reporting section. This is really nice, especially if you have a bigger team. You can learn a lot about the patterns. You can put in surveys. You can put in that kind of stuff too. More options for embedding video. It also doesn't have in-app video hosting, but it has a lot more places that you could have put video already that you can then embed into Coach Accountable. And you can put the sign up for stuff like discovery calls or sign up and buy coaching and all that stuff. You can put that right into your website with Coach Accountable. And the neutral stuff, no blinking tabs and header. Similarly, you know, it's kind of a hit or miss whether that's important to you or not. It may or may not be. And what's also neutral is different or more options for involvement with clients. So that's neutral because it's going to depend on your business model, how much involvement you even want. Support, I have no complaints about either support. I was really pleased to see, I obviously know a lot about Coach Accountable's support because I used to be there. But I was very, very pleasantly surprised to see a response back from Skool within a few hours, even on the weekend, and a real person who didn't write like a canned answer. It was very impressive. So no real difference there in the support. Both are great, which is great to hear. So final determination is, it depends. And I know that's kind of a cop-out, but let me explain a little bit. It depends on what your business model is. And when I'm building a course for a coach, one of the first things we have to figure out is, where should we build this thing? And so I ask them a lot of questions about, what is your business model? What's your intention with this course? Is this course like you have to take this course and that's how you qualify to work with me? Is this course a prerequisite? Is it a part of a multi-level thing that they're going to learn with you? Is it like an entry into your funnel? So they finish the course, then they get to do one-on-one coaching with you or join a group, or like, where does this fit in? Or is the course the whole thing? That's all you want to do is build courses. That helps us determine stuff. So my determination is, if what you want to do is a bunch of public groups, use Skool. Use Skool instead of Facebook, because again, all that crazy privacy stuff. I've also heard of coaches getting their Facebook groups shut down for no reason, and they have no access to their history. They have no access to their members list. Like, everything is gone overnight. There's a lot of stuff with that. So if you're going to do public groups, I would actually prefer Skool over Facebook. And if that's your full business model, great, stick with Skool. If you want these groups and courses to be part of a larger business model, such as group coaching, like any type of mentoring or support, or more detailed homework where you have people really digging in on the stuff you're teaching them, not just like marking it done, you definitely want to use Coach Accountable. So between these two, it really depends on what you're up to. Let me know if you have any questions, or if you have other softwares you would like me to compare.